So guys, in this video I wanted to share major changes and updates of 2024 related to sole proprietorship in Norway. Additionally, I'll discuss the basics of what you need to know if you want to open or you already have your company in Norway. If you found this video, it means that you are in Norway and you're thinking about creating your company, or maybe you already have one. Either way, it will be super useful what I'm about to tell you, so stay with me. Sole proprietorship in Norway differs from the same equivalent companies from other countries, especially outside of European Union. So if you come outside of European Union, like me, for example, you have maybe different idea of how one man's company operate. And the main difference between Norwegian sole proprietorship and the rest of the world is that your company and you are one unit. What does it mean? It means that all your incomes, expenses, taxes related to your sole proprietorship counted together with your other incomes. Maybe you employed somewhere, all your private incomes and taxes are counted together. There is, of course, no separation between you and your company when it comes to declaring your income and paying taxes. And this is essential to remember basically when you want to open your sole proprietorship, because the debts of your company will be your own debts, the same as incomes of your company will be your private income, and you will have to pay a lot of taxes from it. So starting 2024, Norwegian government has been shifting politics a little bit towards less sole proprietorships and more IS being open. IS, it's the company with limited liability. Why is that? Because the sole proprietorship owners have neglected to deliver yearly reports, or if they did, they maybe done so incorrectly, and that led to certain decisions. And the main decision of tax administration office is to take a fee. So from 2024, for opening your own sole proprietorship, you will have to pay a fee to register yourself in NHET's register, so in this register of legal entities. That's the main update. For submitting your application and registering yourself there, before it was for free. Now it costs 2,499 kroner if you do it electronically, and more than 3,000 kroner if you submit your application on paper form. Additionally to that, there are some companies who must register themselves in the register of business entities, or for tax registered. The previous fee was 2,120 kroner, and now it's also raised till 2,656 kroner. You need to see if you need to register yourself in this tax register. So when you need to register yourself from the beginning as you open your company. So either you are buying or engaging in sale of goods for resale, or you have more than 5 employees in your company. So if you hire more than 5 people for your sole proprietorship, you have to register yourself there. Just wanted to know that this fee is deductible, so when you deliver your tax declaration, that can be a tax deduction. I'll be dropping the full list of tax deduction for people who own sole proprietorship. There's a full list in English updated for 2024 with 25 deductions, and also my tips related to filling out the declaration and sole proprietorship in general. So if you don't want to miss it, subscribe to updates from my blog and you will receive this list and notification that it's out on my blog the first. Next on, I wanted to tell you about 6 things that I think it's very important to know when you have your sole proprietorships. First, a sole proprietorship is the better suitable form for someone who is already employed. So if you have work elsewhere, the best to start, of course, is to open sole proprietorship. If you, for example, don't have a work from before, so you are not employed anywhere, I would advise you to lean towards aksjeselskap, so limited liability company. Why? Yes, it costs more to open it, but if you're planning to make money anyways, right? It's better because you will have benefits. When you register your aksjeselskap, you can employ yourself, and with that you have right for benefits, unemployed benefit, sick benefit, parental leave benefit, pension, vacation money, everything. In case you after some time decide to quit, you will also be quitting your job, and with that you will have right for all the welfare stuff. When you are owner of sole proprietorship, there is much less perks when it comes to welfare. The second thing I wanted to tell you about is the activity separations. If you engage in different activities and provide different services, if you have 2 or more activities, you might need to open 2 or more sole proprietorships. You need to see what is your case. If you provide, for example, 2 or more activities that need license at the same time, for example, it can be the taxi driving, it can be the cleaning services, it can be construction company. All these businesses need to have a special licensing. Therefore, they need a different organization numbers. If you provide 2 different services and it takes about 50% of your time and it's 50% expenses, you have to have 2 different organizations number for it as well. It is because of accounting and reporting your expenses and incomes. It will be just big salad if you will try to make it together, and it's punishable if the government decide to check you. So have it in mind. Of course, when you're providing similar services, for example, like coaching, training, blogging, and consulting, maybe everything in the same field, for example, psychology or sports, then you can actually do it under one sole proprietorship because the codes are matching and it's all quite aligning together. The third thing we want to talk about is advanced tax payments. When you open your sole proprietorship, you need to pay taxes in advance, and it's something, in my opinion, big to consider if you're planning to build a big business and make money, right? Because in many cases you need the cash to maybe start your business, to buy some equipment, to buy some goods, and it's certainly a turn down when you need to prepay your taxes. So when you open IS, of course, it doesn't happen like that, but with enkeltpersoonforetak, you will have to fill it in your tax card. So when you open your company and you go to your tax card, you will have to estimate how much money you're planning to make the year. You open your company and write it down, and then tax administration office, and on this page you will get a calculation from them of how much taxes they want you to pay. These taxes you will need to pay in 4 installments, so in 4 payments. First it's March 15, then it's June 15, September 15, and December 15. Additionally, when you provide information about your expected business income, remember that your taxes as a private person also will be increased, because as we remember, your company and you are one unit. So, but of course, if your estimated amounts change, you can always go to your tax card and adjust it. Number 4, VAT registration. So when you earn more than 50,000 kroner, that's a general one. I will not dive in. There's another also rules for registering yourself in VAT registry, but the main thing for our ordinary people is when you earn more than 50,000. So it's not your profit, it's your cash flow. When you charge someone for 50,000 kroner in 12 months, so after you earn this 50,000 in the time of 12 months, you will have to register yourself in something called VAT registry or MVA register. Then you will have to submit reports every 2 months. Some of businesses don't need to pay this VAT. Who is exempt from registering themselves in VAT service? First of all, it's companies related to healthcare, education, financial services, and sports. Also, if you sell your own art, then you don't need to register in VAT. But if you sell, for example, art and ordinary goods, then you need to see how much you sold for, because if you sold ordinary goods for 50,000, then you will need to register yourself in VAT registry. But for selling art, you don't need to add taxes on top of it. Number 5, it is that if you have a cash flow more than 50,000 kroner, or you have employees, it is advisable to use accounting software to help with reporting employees' salaries. I would say it's even obligatory to have a special software. If the state will decide to audit you, to check your company, you will have to present them with a special file that can be actually generated only from accountancy software. So have it in mind. And as well as after 50,000, when you in the company earn more than 50,000, you will have extensively reported in your tax declaration. When you open your tax declaration, there will be a question in this business specification: do you earn more or less than 50,000 in the previous year? And you will answer yes or no. Based on that, you will have your reporting. And for people who earn more than 50,000, you will have extensive reporting, and you will have to fill out all your expenses and all your incomes with accountancy codes. If you have your accountancy program, actually it's much more easy, because this program sends this information to your tax declaration for you. Most of the programs are integrated now with tax administration. Last thing is, if your cash flow less than 50,000 kroner, then you don't need a special software, and you can actually make your accountancy on paper. No, in Excel, for example, because for reportation in your tax declaration you actually don't need to report much. There will be two things to fill it. It's your expenses and your incomes, and it's just one window, so you will have to put in all your incomes and all your expenses. Remember that even if you haven't made any money in previous year, you will still have to report, and you will still have to fill out your NAREC specification or business specification. Just you need to report it on zeros. To summarize everything I said, again, I think it's very smart to have an accountancy program or hire an accountant the first year at least when you create your business, especially as an expat in Norway, as someone that maybe don't speak Norwegian or maybe not familiar with Norwegian tax law, for example. It's best to have a person who can check you, even if you don't have a tax accountant on a permanent basis. Maybe just hire someone to check how you do your yearly reportation first years. When it comes to the checks, sole proprietorships are checked up to 5 years back, so you will have to keep your documentation safe 5 years back from the year you've been checked, and for IS it's 10 years, so all these papers has to be somewhere safe and better in accountancy program. So as I say that many of these programs are integrated with Skatteetaten, with Altinn, with banks, with shops, with different paying platforms, so it will be very useful for submitting the tax declaration. Myself, personally, I used Visma before and I used Fiken. Both of them are great. Fiken, in addition to just being a good accountancy program, they have tons of useful information in their blog. They arrange webinars and other programs that you can use. It's maybe Konta. You have the NB accountancy program. You have TripleTax. As a self-employed individual, you also have possibility to attend courses and webinars from tax administration office itself. I can link it down below. It's a great thing because they cover not only sole proprietorships, but they cover also IS. They tell you about how to navigate Skatteetaten and Altinn in general. They tell you about accounting and bookkeeping. They tell you about withholding tax. They tell you about tax returns. They tell you about income reports and business specifications. They tell you about VAT and VAT registry and VAT returns. Also, you can find a lot of useful information on a page called Innovation Norge, so Innovation Norge or Innovative Norway. I can also link it down below. There's also tons of useful information and guidance for new entrepreneurs. The following year, after you open your sole proprietorship, you will receive NAREC specification or this business specification. And the tax office worked out a new system where your yearly reports comes in one place, both for you and your company. So after you open your tax declaration now, everyone already received their tax declaration. So when you open it, you will see the window that's called NAREC specification. If you don't have this window, it does mean that you don't need to fill it out. It means that it's allowed in the system, and especially it applies to people who open their companies after June 2023. That can happen. So if you open your company in August, July, September 2023, it can happen in the second part of the year, so of 2023. It can happen that you don't have this NAREC specification automatically sent to you. What you need to do is to go to the search bar on top, type something like netting, and then you will have the first hit. Just click on it, it will be added automatically to your tax return, and then you can fill it out. The last thing I wanted to mention about reporting, what you need to remember is to send your yearly report, so your tax declaration, is to send your VAT report if you register in VAT registry every 2 months. That is important because you can get a penalty fee if you don't do that, and a-melding through Altinn if you have employees in your company, and if you're paying out salary to your employees, then you will have to send something called a-melding every month. So guys, I hope you found something useful for you in this video. If so, please push like, subscribe, and I will be happy to answer your questions down below in the comment section, of course. Have a good week and bye bye.